Welcome back to another podcast. We are your hosts. I am Eleanor McCabe, IFBB Bikini Pro, and I'm with my lovely co-hosts,
Cecily Wesch, Team Haley Coach.
And Danielle Kusenberger, Team Haley Coach.
And tonight we are super excited. We have an excellent topic for y'all. So buckle in, get your notepads ready, because this one's going to be full of information.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of motivation. We're going to click into your mindset and try to just help y'all improve from this podcast and kind of just help y'all become more relentless.
Absolutely. Our goal is to always have you guys leaving this podcast feeling more relentless than when you arrive. So with that, let's just dive right into it. Today, we're going to talk about the fear of failure.
What that means, how it feels, how literally everything within fitness, within competing, within our life, within our career there is always going to be a fear of failing. I know that all of us have dealt with that throughout this past year and throughout our lifetime. So we're just going to help y'all work through fear of failure and how we approach fear of failure and how we look at fear of failure.
And how we overcome it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. We'll dive into our experiences, and then we're going to give you guys actionable ways to overcome this fear, because I think it's very common and I know everybody's experienced it. So let's dive right in.
I do have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
If you want me to go first, if you don't have an answer, then I will. But I wanted to ask y'all what fear of failure is to y'all and what failure looks like for y'all, why y'all fear it and everything like that.
I think that's a good question. I think the fear of failure to me is going through things, avoiding failure. So knowing that whether it's in my career, my job, bodybuilding, my relationship, it's the emotion of fear that comes up when something really important to me, it's like something really important to me and I'm scared that I'm going to fail at it. It's just like a internal emotion that I feel. And whenever that comes up, it's a signal to me because I've trained myself to see it as something that's going to push me forward. So I almost lean into it now, but that definitely wasn't always the case.
That's super powerful though. Teaching yourself how to lean into fearing failure and work through it and know that it's actually empowering you. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Mine would probably be it's the fear of failure is tied to the fear of not being good enough, whether that's not good enough for myself or in other people's eyes. Especially old me was definitely very concerned about not being good enough for someone else. And so having to work through that has been extremely tough. I'm a people pleaser. I like to make people happy. And so the thought of letting someone else down because I couldn't be good enough for them or achieve what they wanted me to achieve for them was always something that was extremely daunting for me.
Yeah. But I will say you definitely, and you've taught me too, that you don't need to always please other people. You got to please yourself first.
Yeah.
So,
because if you aren't happy, you aren't pleasing yourself, then you can't please other people the way that they should be.
And your purpose is off. Your purpose is whatever you feel is your purpose, but everyone else, they're going to want different things from you, and you can't please every person around you.
Yep, exactly.
You will let other people down, but at the end of the day, if you know you're bettering yourself for your goals, pursuing your purpose, then that's what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, a fear of failure means not being fulfilled in life or within myself in an unfulfilled journey. And I feel but the only way, and I constantly tell myself, the only way to ever be unfulfilled is by not going 100% in and only giving half of yourself or 80%. Because the only way to fail is by allowing yourself to give less than what you know you can give. Because if you truly give 100% into any goal, any career, then you believe in yourself enough to know that I am going to succeed. And so that's what I constantly keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. And something that I've learned too with that is that you never truly fail unless you just completely give up. I 100% agree that you need to give your all and commit to a goal or commit to what you're trying to achieve. That commitment has to be there. But of course, there's going to be some days where that 100% looks different, right? So to me, failing would be just completely giving up and not trying at all. But if if you put it in the context of bodybuilding and you lose a show, that's not failing. You did the prep, you got on stage, you just lost to people who showed up better than you. But it's out of your control. And like, to me, giving up based on like external controls, that's failure. And that's what people should fear, is like letting external things bring them down and make them not even want to try.
Make them not show up,
Mm-hmm.
which is easy. Like it's in bodybuilding, you are going to fail at times.
Yeah.
And honestly, you want to fail. Like you said earlier, like you look for failure is a way to empower yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're going to fail. It's inevitable. So when you do fail, it's okay. Like embrace it.
And it's all about how you fail.
Yeah. And like when you are at the bottom, when you fail, you're feeling that hurt, let yourself sit there. Feel what it feels to feel like to fail, because that's going to help you come back even better. You're going to learn a lot of lessons and actually feel yourself be empowered by that moment.
Yeah, because if you think about it, failure is what makes you better day in and day out, especially if you kind of make it like a little bit of a metaphor between like bodybuilding and life. In bodybuilding, every single day, our goal is to fail in the gym. And by failing, we're making ourselves better.
Yep.
So you have to view the same failures in life as ways to like pick yourself up and make yourself better as well.
That's a really, really good point. I love that. I really do love that. And another thing that I keep in mind is like everyone at the top, especially in bodybuilding, everyone who's at the Olympia stage, like they've failed to get there. So I believe everyone at the top has seen failure, has felt failure, and has failed many times in order to be at the point that they're at. Yeah.
You almost have to. If you're chasing like goals like that, if you're chasing success in any sort of form, you have to learn to fail and pick yourself up and keep going and be consistent with it. But I think what holds a lot of people back there is they get embarrassed. They fail and they're embarrassed and they care what people think, and so they just stop. And to me, that's a fail. If you let other people dictate how you're acting or what you think you should be doing. But for me, like a big concept that ties into like fear of failure, because I'm really into journaling and stoicism, like philosophy wise, and they have this idea that you can focus your energy inwards, like on yourself, and focus on that locus of control that's like internal versus external. And so I think keeping that in mind when you're going through these things, when you're goal chasing, if you do fail, it's totally okay. But look at what you can control and don't worry about what anybody else thinks or any external noise that you're getting.
And I will say, like what you said earlier, if you do fail, you actually win because there's other things that you learned about yourself. So you're coming out fulfilled in other areas, which is amazing. That's part of failing, just learning. Yeah. I loved what y'all said though. That left me with a lot of things in mind that I'll take with me.
Yeah. There was like a really good analogy that I heard one time that's like about this topic too, where it tells people to think about like a kid learning to walk, and that kid that's learning to walk, they fall down 10,000 times. But they don't just lay there and think like, oh, you know what, walking's not for me, I'm just not going to walk. They continue to do it and do it and do it. And then eventually they get up and they're walking. And so I think we're born with that sort of drive and determination, and we just don't know any better. We don't have any shame around falling, like literally falling. And like, you know, you might cry, the baby might cry because they fell, but only for a few minutes, and then they try again. And so like, I like taking that analogy and applying it to us as adults, because it's like the same sort of concept. Like you might fall down and you might feel hurt, and you can take a moment, like you can cry, that's okay, but then try again, like keep going. Because the people like you were talking about, the people at the top, especially with bodybuilding who are successful, it's because they kept going and they kept trying.
Yeah. And like that's with every career, but I like what you said there. And even like with the crawling and constantly getting up until you can walk again, like there will be times where you fail, but you find different routes and different paths to take in order to succeed. There's not always going to be this one path that's right. There's so many other paths, but it's like a tree branch, right? Like there's the roots and there's so many branches coming out, and like eventually you'll get to the top. You just got to find what path is best for you. And by doing that, you have to try so many different things, and some will fail and some will not fail.
Yeah, like not everything that you try to do is going to end in success. It's going to end, some are going to be complete failures, but it might not actually be a failure because you found out it wasn't for you. It wasn't something that was serving you. So if something isn't serving you or giving you purpose or fulfilling you, then there's no reason to be a part of it anymore.
I think that goes back to like if you're doing things for other people and people pleasing instead of what you know is your purpose and what's made for you. If it's not made for you, if it's not your purpose, it's not what you truly know you want to do, then you are going to fail because it's not what you want to do, right? So if it's your purpose and you believe in yourself, you will succeed no matter how much time that takes.
Yeah, and kind of also touching on the believing in yourself, I think that that's where a lot of people also fail, is the self-doubt. They let the self-doubt creep into their mind and kind of overtake and win rather than listening to what's really deep down inside, what they want and what they need.
Yeah. Self-doubt it's going to be that. We see it every day.
Yeah. I have it all the time.
Exactly, yeah. People at the top have it in different areas of their life. You know, like there's going to be things that you're so confident in, and there's going to be things that you are so insecure in or you have self-doubt in. And that's just part of life. That's part of growing.
And you're never going to know unless you try. That's the other thing.
But I do think I keep this in mind all the time too. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, and it's in your head, you have it for a reason, and it's because you can achieve it. And that's why it's empowered in your brain. So anything you think about and you're like, I really would like to see myself achieve this goal. Like I think about it a lot, but I just don't think I can do it. You can. You have it. It's in your brain for a reason. It's yours. So you're able to achieve it.
I agree. I think people can maybe get lulled into like a sense of security, like they're comfortable. And so they think that like not trying, not going out on a limb, not taking that risk, that it's safer to go that option. But I really like what you said. Like if there's a dream in your brain that you think about all the time, you wake up, you think about it, you're going through your day and it pops into your head. That dream is there for a reason. It's yours for a reason and you have to pursue it.
Yeah. And the thing is even if you, like you, let's say you go after it and you don't achieve that goal, it might lead you to another goal that's even better for you in that moment.
Yeah, that's very true. And you meet so many different people along the way. Like that's what's the cool thing about exploring different interests and different goals is because you're going to meet so many different communities and feel a part of different communities. And that's really going to ground you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely opportunity no matter what the outcome is. Like every step of the way, there's going to be opportunities for you. You have to have that mindset and you have to apply that perspective every day that even if you do fail at like one step or if you're finding a lot of success, that there are multiple open doors for opportunities for you.
Don't live a life full of what ifs.
Yeah.
Live a life full of what you know your purpose is.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Do y'all have any other insights for them? Any tips to take with them throughout their journey?
Is there anything that you guys personally do when the fear of failure is like really creeping inside? Like, is there anything that you say to yourself or is there like an action that you do? Like, is there something that like grounds you when you have deep fear of failure?
So one thing, like when I'm in that moment where it's like, I'm scared, especially during training, because, you know, for example, you're training and you feel like there's only 3 reps more to give, you know you can actually execute 5.
Yeah.
So there's always a point where I'm like, I want this. I know I can do it. I'm here in this moment. I'm literally feeling what I feel for a reason because there's passion, because I care, because I know I can see myself succeed. I just have to make it happen. So reminding yourself that you can give more, you can do more, you can achieve it. You have that feeling for a reason. It's grounded in you.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's kind of like being present. I think for me, when I feel that fear creeping up, especially like the fear of failure or the what ifs or the self-doubt, I have that a lot around like my pro debut because you only get one pro debut. So I have this pressure already that I've placed upon myself and I'm fully aware of that. But I want to do well. Like I want to place. I want to make a name for myself. And sometimes I have those thoughts that's like, well, what if you don't place? What if you fail? What if you get last? And like whenever that happens, honestly, I just stop thinking and I just do. So if I'm thinking stuff like that, I'll take my clothes off, put my posing suit on, and I just go pose. Because that's something that's like in my control that I know, like even if my physique isn't the top of the top and can't hang with those top pros. My posing will be, because that's like within my control. So to me, I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now. I'm getting like tears in my eyes. I think that like when I have those feelings of like self-doubt, just shutting my brain off and just doing something like in that moment that almost proves it wrong is like super helpful.
I like that, like taking that doubt and then turning it into an action that pushes you closer to it.
Yeah.
I think that that's really, really smart. I like that a lot.
It's powerful. And I will say, like, when you got emotional right there and like the way that you carried yourself when you said, but my posing will be, like, you have the power. It's in you.
Yeah.
You feel that you can do, you're going to win. Like, whatever winning looks like for you, you're going to make it happen because of how you feel right now. And even like, you're going to have those times when, if you go into this next week, and you feel you have those negative self-doubt feeling, I want you to think about how you felt right now and how assertive you were right now, because that's going to help you grow through those times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Couldn't
100%.
agree more.
Love that. I'm just going to watch that clip over and over again. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. That's the power.
You have it. It's in you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really powerful, though. Everything that y'all said definitely, like, it resonated with me and it hit me really hard. So I know it's going to hit our audience really hard.
Yeah.
I hope so.
If
What
y'all-
about you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
I didn't even think about it while I was listening to you guys because your answers were so good. You know, what I do when I'm having like those moments of self-doubt is I kind of look inward. I should probably start to turn it off because if anything, I feel like this might be making me overthink more. But I look inward and I try to find the root of why I'm feeling that way. Like, is there something that I'm not doing that's actually holding me back? So it's kind of like a self-reflection, like, because I feel like when I have those feelings, it's generally when I'm not living up to the standard that I want myself to be. So I look inward and then I have a little bit of self-reflection and I think about what I can be doing to better myself in that moment.
Very powerful. Yeah. But I feel like even though you look inward, both of those push you, like, they empower you.
Yeah.
They allow, like, even hers is like more of an action, yours is more of internal, but they still push you forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both like our internal selves. Like we turn inwards in a way.
Yeah.
Like I shut it off, but I just do. I execute. And that's kind of like what you're doing because you're evaluating, have I been executing? Where can I execute better? And so it's all about ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Everything that we all said, like, they're very good tips to use. Like, try them all. If you're listening to this, try all of these.
Yeah.
Like, all of them, they're each going to work. One's just going to be better for you.
Yeah, one's going to be a better
Yeah.
fit. And I actually really like that they have 3 different options.
Yeah.
Like what they can
We're
choose
all
from.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is super, super special.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that y'all have y'all's own. So honestly, what I like, if y'all could like share y'all's with us in like the comments or DMs
love
us, like, I'd love to hear what y'all do when y'all face that.
Or maybe on the
self-doubt.
day that this pod drops on the Instagram, the Becoming Relentless Instagram, we can do a little questionnaire box and they can write it out for us.
Yeah.
And we can
Let's do
share
it.
them.
Stay,
Let's do it. I love
if
that.
you listen to this,
Yeah.
go to the Becoming Relentless Instagram and then look at the story and we'll get that up for y'all.
Yeah. Share your guys' ways.
Yeah,
I
we'd
would love
to
that.
see them.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you feel extra relentless today. I know I do. And we will catch you on the next Becoming Relentless podcast.
Bye. I hope y'all really enjoyed the podcast today, leaving it feeling more relentless than ever. But we have a few things that we would love to ask of you, so I'm going to give this over to Noah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could, I know that this is your new favorite podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave any comments and questions below. And make sure that you're sharing across social media so that all of your friends get to listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
And if you have any questions about any topics that we talk about or anything at all, fitness, competing related, anything, we'll hit you back up Instagram or in the podcast under, if the comment box is there, then we will definitely answer your questions and help you out as best as we can.
Absolutely. So leave those 5-star reviews. Let us know. And we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Have a relentless day.
Bye.